This is the progression of the hip flexor stretch. So after you're done loosening up with the chair in the doorway, you want to strengthen those muscles. So we'll start with forward lunges, and you can use weights in the hands. I'll show you without. And then you would progress to an asymmetric load to really stabilize the lower spine. So maybe like a 10-pounder in one hand, 5 in the other, and then switch. So the first one is just a forward lunge like this, and then return, and then switch. What you want to concentrate on, because we're getting at your hip flexor, you want to try to keep this knee relatively straight. So when I come out, you want that knee to kind of lag back so the knee gets behind the hip. If this happens, you're bowing on that hip flexor. You're not loading that up. So it's like step out, come back, step out, come back. And it might bend a little bit, but you want to keep it just a little bit of a bend. You would do 2 sets of 10, and then to tweak it in the other 2 planes, we'll go wide and narrow. So wide would just be like a wide step out like this. Narrow, you just kind of come across. And it's tough to keep that back leg straight, especially if your hip flexor's tight when you do the narrow. As you see, when I come across, my knee bends, my heel wants to turn in. So you want to try to keep that heel relatively down and facing forward when you come out. Next, you want to work on control. So this is like a balance reach activity. To avoid going through your back, you would just do a foot reach. So you want to stand like this. Now I'm working this hip. Balance, try to touch something like a bar stool or a countertop, touch it, and then come back. So what's happening is this muscle is controlling that motion and then bringing you back home. Control it, bring you back home. If you're too far and this happens, that's going to cause some lower back pain. So you want to go close enough that you can reach it, and then to tweak it in the other 2 planes, go wide and narrow. This is really challenging. You balance here, kind of touch it out wide, come back, and then the narrow, touch it across, whoop, that way. Also do 2 sets of 10 with those moves.